So, but we do need approval of the previous minutes. We need a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
The adjournment of the old board,
Old board.
Sindai,
And
which means with no intent to reconvene. So that's what that means.
So moved. Second.
all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All right?
I would just like to take a moment to thank both
Oh, my
Lori
goodness, yes.
and Jim. Lori has served for the last 4 years, is that correct? And as anyone who's ever served on a Board of Education knows, this is more than just a once-a-month meeting. There's a lot of stress and a lot of time away from family and friends and other activities. So we want to thank Lori for her invaluable service over the last 4 years and wish her and her family nothing but the best.
Well, and I'd like to add that 4 years may sound like a small amount of time, but since a lot of it was during COVID, that's like dog years, which was pretty stressful time to be on the board, especially your first time through. There's a lot of things that other boards haven't had to deal with, so it
And I
was.
have a card for you in my office, so please, I'll grab it for you. Okay. And Jim, hell, excuse my language, but this is the end of a partnership that dates back
Yeah.
a long, long time, not just as board president and board member, but as assistant coach and friend. And for those that know, this is what, 18 years?
Yeah, 16 on the board.
Jim has served 16 years as a board member, which I don't have official records, but I'm thinking it's probably one of the longest serving board members in the history of our district. So congratulations and enjoy life, retired life finally.
Yeah, I had 4 grandchildren when I started. I have 8 now. So Diana was 2 years old when I started, and she graduates next month. So that kind of is how it dates how I feel about how long I've been here. I started on the board actually with Jim's father. We were both voted in the same time, 16 years ago. So it's been interesting 4 terms. So thank all the people that voted for me for those 4 terms
And I can't
and
believe you
let me
managed to-
serve here.
I can't believe you actually
Yeah, but
done. So we have a, so your 16 years of service.
sure.
No, you don't have to.
All right, well, good luck to those of you who are about to be on the new board with 1 new member.
Tonight, we'll have more.
Tonight,
we'll have
more eventually.
All right, let's,
So you're good. You're done.
I'm done. I don't have to call it. Good. I'm not gonna run now. All right. Yeah.
Thank you, Lori. Yes.
We'll see.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have to call the second part of our meeting to order and do a roll call of the remaining board members.
Witt. Cromwell.
He can't, he's not a board member.
Pielson.
Yes.
Wilkins.
Yes.
Stanhope.
Yes.
Lucky.
Yes.
So now we will need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
First and a second, all those in favor?
The discussion, quick.
Sure.
Should we change the Chelsea Stewart assistant volleyball coach to
Fresh off,
Michelle?
we can do that. So the amended agenda now is under consent agenda, item C, hires. Chelsea Stewart is technically being hired as fresh soft volleyball coach, not assistant volleyball coach.
Okay.
So then I will take a motion to approve the amended agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Okay. That being said, it is now my pleasure to seat our new board member, Mr. Jim Frombo. I won't make you stand up, but. So what I will do is I will read the oath of office. Mr. Frombo will respond or will repeat it as I say it. After that, he will be seated and we will move on to the election of officers. So with that being said, I state your name,
I, James Brombo,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Morrison Community Unit School District Number 6.
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Morrison Community Unit School District Number 6
In accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability.
in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability.
I further swear or affirm that
I further swear or affirm that
I shall respect taxpayers' interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
I shall respect taxpayers' interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public board meeting, and
I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public board meeting, and
I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
I shall abide by majority decisions of the board while maintaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
As a part of the Board of Education, I'll accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district.
As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district.
I shall foster with board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for Morrison School District.
I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for Morrison School District.
I shall assist in establishing a structure and environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework.
I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework.
I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement in all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law.
I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement and all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law.
I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students in our community schools to advance the vision for Morrison School District, and
I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students and our community's school to advance the vision for Morrison School District, and
I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
Congratulations and welcome to the Board of Education.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else think we need a shorter oath of office?
I don't remember that being that long.
Yeah, I
do.
Read it out loud.
All right, so at this point, now that we have seated our newest member of the Board of Education, we move on to the election of officers. In order to do that, we need to nominate one of our sitting board members as President Pro Tem. This is simply just a perfunctory matter in order to get the ball rolling. So I would recommend that Terry, as our returning Vice President, you will agree to serve as President Pro Tem. Are you willing to do that?
Same.
Any concerns with that? All right. So with that being said, this right here, you just need to read right from there.
From this one?
Yep.
Nominations in order for the office of president.
Somebody's got to nominate someone.
Somebody's gotta nominate.
I nominate Aaron Lucky. I second.
Don't need a second.
Okay.
So we have a nomination for Aaron Lucky as president.
Mhm.
So then you're here.
Okay,
Aaron Lucky is.
Aaron Lucky is nominated. Are there any other nominations for the office of president? Hearing no further nominations, the nominations for the office of president are closed.
So then,
Aaron Lucky being the only candidate nominated for office of president, the chair hereby declares them elected by acclamation and directs the secretary to so record in the minutes.
Congratulations. Let's move over here now. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Thanks.
I do. All right. Thank you.
Oh, never mind. All right, so now you're going to do kind of the same thing. You're
Okay.
going to say nominations are in order for the office of vice president.
Okay. Nominations are in order for the office of vice president. Okay, I'd like to nominate Dustin Damhoff for the office of vice president.
Second.
Dustin Damhoff is nominated. Are there any other nominations for the office of vice president? So hearing no further nominations, the nomination for the office of vice president are closed. Dustin Damhoff being the only candidate nominated for the office of vice president, the chair hereby declares them elected by acclamation and directs the secretary to so record in the minutes. Okay.
Not sure, excuse me, secretary.
Secretary, okay. So nominations are in for the office of secretary.
I'll nominate Terry.
Okay, Terry Wilkins is nominated. Are there any other nominations for the office of secretary? Okay, hearing no further nominations, the nominations for the office of secretary are closed. Terry being the only candidate nominated for the office of secretary, the chair hereby declares them elected by acclamation and directs the secretary to so record in the minutes.
The only other board seat or board office we have is we have secretary or recording secretary, which is Luann Weneke. I would nominate Luann Weneke to continue in that role, as well as Kyla Hampson to return or remain, excuse me, as treasurer of the Board of Education. Just going to make that formal. Any concerns? Seeing as they're the only one, anyone else want to nominate somebody? All right, so those positions will stay as they are. Next part of our agenda is committee assignments. We have 3 committees. Aaron, as president, is de facto member of each committee. I will send a sign-out sheet to everyone again. Like we normally don't do this, but as a reminder, we have the Education Committee, Finance and Facility Committee, and Policy and Procedure Committee. So I will send those out to everyone for signing up after the meeting, and if that works for everybody. Okay. With that being said, now we need to go into closed session.
Okay. So now we're going to enter closed session and just read those two. Okay. For the purpose of matters related to collective bargaining, and for the purpose of matters relating to the appointment, employment compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee.
I would estimate that will probably be no more than 20 minutes. So, I'm kicking you all out, I'm sorry. Are you still open? So we have a motion to come out at 7:24, made by Dustin and seconded by Matt. Go ahead.
Okay, so we move on to, all in favor of coming out of closed session?
Aye.
You hear it every meeting, that you it's your turn to actually say the word.
Put in that,
Yes.
oh, shoot, I don't, okay. Sorry. Usually you just have this on for me. So now we're going to consent agenda, so now I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, and we need, roll call,
Yes, because you're dealing with-
because we're dealing with money, yes.
Pielson,
Yes.
Wilkins.
Yes.
I am not watching TV, I want you to know that, okay? Tori's,
Yeah, we know what the office is.
Just moved you. Yeah.
Oh, that's my phone.
We were
Just
listening to music
background.
the other day.
Background.
Damn popcorn
Yes.
movie. Crumble.
Yes.
Lucky.
why is this not?
You might want to just.
It's totally okay.
All right, so did we get a vote?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
All
Very
right.
good.
We approved the consent agenda?
Yes.
All right. Public comments. Jennifer, you're up first.
All right. I'd like to propose an amendment to the three-member limit per congressional township rule. I would like to see it written that if not enough people run per township, that there are people willing to serve who have run for the office, that those persons, no matter the township, should be permitted to fill the board vacancies. I'd like to see people fill school board positions who want the job and are willing to commit fully to the time that is required, rather than someone who does not want the job and who may feel forced and deserving. I also understand the need for the three-person per township rule. It allows for equal representation between town and rural townships. Sadly, I found out during the election that most people in the rural townships did not realize they could even vote in this election. If you want representation within the school district, you have to go out and vote. If your kid currently goes or has gone to Morrison schools while living where you live, you should be out voting in the school board elections. I also think this amendment may encourage more participation from rural townships. For fear all positions could be filled by townies if they don't get their rears in gear. Sadly, less than 12% of all people who could vote in this election voted. I'd also like to see more enthusiasm from the school districts introducing current and potential board members during election time so people can put a face and a small amount of information to the name voters see on the ballot.
Thanks, Jennifer. Jen and I have actually been in conversation about this, and I spoke about the possibility of an amendment. I know, Matt, you had a question about that as well. And I know normally our process isn't to engage in public comment, but because it deals with everyone. The bylaws are not bylaws. Currently, we can only have a maximum of 3 people per township elected to the school board. There is a process for eliminating that. We'd have to go out to referendum, and then would have to be approved by 50% or over 50% of each townships. Hasn't been successful in other districts, doesn't mean it would be successful here. In regards to Jennifer's suggestion about, if I'm understanding it correctly, if there's a vacancy, eliminating that rule until the next general election. Is that,
Yes.
are we on the same page?
Yeah, like 2 years.
Yep, I spoke with Dana Nelson about that. She's not aware of any rule that would allow that. She's not saying it's not there, so I will be researching that with the ISBE and see if that's a possibility. And we'll report back. So we've had many conversations over the last.
But that way then you wouldn't have to have the interview process and all of that rigmarole that you could be using to do other things.
No, it's certainly gonna put a delay some discussions and things like that. So, all right, Danielle, you're up.
Okay. The last time we were here, we kind of made a general about certain things in the kitchen, and it was commented that not everybody knew what was going on as far as different issues we had. So we have a preliminary, kind of just a small list of issues that we have printed out the pictures, if you would like to see, that show some of the issues that the kitchens have. That this is strictly the high school kitchen we're looking at, but we would also like to invite anybody to come and look at any of the 4 kitchens and talk to us and see what we can do to help make things a little more safe.
Thank you.
I'll make sure they get them. I don't want to cut you off, is that?
Oh, yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay.
I'm short and sweet today.
Okay.
A little less shaky.
All right. So good news from the district.
In addition to what is there for Northside, I also wanted to add that Samantha Scholl, the Northside and Southside music teacher, was recognized last Friday night at Bi-County's Trivia Night as an unsung hero for her efforts to include the lifestyle students in music class, but also musical performances. And then this year she's also at Southside added a class just for students in life skills for them to participate in it. So I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of her recognition last Friday.
Very well served.
Mr. Robbins.
I think just reiterate our career fair, the first time we'd ever been able to do it post-COVID. It's a little different than just a career fair. It's not necessarily setting up booths and people come in. We actually have presenters come in, talk with the kids, and looking over the kids fill out a sheet, kind of 5 stars, which ones they liked, which one maybe they, didn't like as much, not based on the presenter, but just based on the career. So we had a really good return rate on that. So it's nice to be able to get some idea of some of the things these kids enjoy and what they may be looking towards doing in the future. Not just to get them started on that, but also to help us maybe work some of those things into our curriculum. So, we can start talking about some of those careers and things that interest kids. So really good turnout, very thankful for all the people that made it happen and work, and look forward to continuing to do it in the future.
I just would like to add something. I took a phone call from a parent, a parent, and I hate to sound pessimistic, but sometimes it seems far and wide that I get good phone calls. So I got a phone call from a parent who wanted to make sure that I was aware of something that one of Mr. Robbins' teachers did. Mr. Thixton went above and beyond to help a student out of a situation that could have been very difficult for that student. And I don't want to name names, but I wanted to give Mr. Thixton some recognition, as it's always nice to get phone calls from parents hearing the good things. And sometimes we unfortunately focus on bad things, but I did want to give Mr. Thixton some recognition. So, Mr. Bielman.
Not much. Busy week or busy month upcoming. We've got prom weekend upcoming this weekend. We've got the play the following. Honors nights coming up. So wish us luck moving forward in the next few weeks.
Finance and facility, we did not meet tonight. I will do a quick update. Projects are ongoing. We met with the district architect last week to talk about the track project. Hopefully we'll be going out for bid soon for that. Orders are coming in for the HVAC project at the junior high and north side. We have on the agenda tonight, thank you to Jennifer Vandermolen for pointing this in this direction. We got a very good quote, in my opinion, to redo the surface at Northside in the gymnasium. So there's actually 2 options that we'll be discussing when we get to that. Very excited about that. So that's where we're at with finance and facility. Any questions on the reports that you had in your board packet? Enrollments. What did we say? First time since 2020?
Mm-hmm.
First time since
May
May
2020.
2020, we are over 1,000 kids in the district. So That's awesome. We're back to 1,002. Not quite where we were 10 years ago, but anytime we can get back over that 1,000, that's pretty good. So.
Old business, the high school athletic conference invitation.
So in your packet, there is a formal letter from the Northwest Upstate Illini Conference inviting Morrison High School to join 24-25. 24-25. I have Mr. Dolan here and Mr. Vila have been integral parts of this discussion and are able to answer any questions that you may have. I have passed out to the board members a comparison from the current Three Rivers Athletic Conference schools, which is located at the bottom, their enrollment, the difference between their enrollment and our enrollment per the IHSA website, their classification, general classification for their sports, the distance from Morrison High School to the high school per Google Maps, and then well as the estimated travel time. As you can see, or as the board members can see, and I apologize, I shouldn't be casting this so you guys can all see this. In the Three Rivers Conference, the average enrollment is 407.6 kids, which is 128.6 kids more than we currently have. So we're at 279. Most of the teams in the Three Rivers, and this is using volleyball as an example, this is how I got the classifications, are AA schools. We are a single A school. Average distance from Morrison High School to the high schools in the Three Rivers is 49.9 miles, and the estimated travel time is 54.8 minutes. When you look at the NUIC, the average enrollment is 185, which is 94 less than us. All of the schools in the Northwest and then NUIC are Class A schools. Average distance is 48.1 miles, and the estimated travel time is 59.1. So the travel time and the distance, in my opinion, are pretty much a wash, and I think Mr. Gill and Mr. Vila can, offer their own opinions. So some people may be asking why. The level of competition or the enrollment of the schools is the biggest deciding factor, in my opinion. When you're looking at schools like Monmouth Roseville at 504, Kewanee at 552, Mendota at 539, we are the smallest non-boundary school in the Three Rivers. And the schools that they continue to want to bring in are greater in size and enrollment than we are. Is that a fair?
Yes.
Corey, are you good with that too?
Yes, that's, like I said, I think we've seen the schools that have left our conference being replaced by schools that are farther away and larger. There's still discussions of other schools such as Mercer County, Rock Island, Allman, Sandwich, Farmington, of possibilities of coming into the track conference. And again, this is something that Mr. Dolan's been a part of, kind of the courtship of the NUIC and Morrison and such for a number of years, going back until, was it 2015 with Amboy?
2015 with Amboy.
And so it was.
It looks like we are the small school currently.
Yes.
I mean,
Correct.
if we change, we won't be the smallest, we won't be the biggest, we'll be within
Yes.
the bounds.
So since that time, we've seen Amboy, Fulton, this year, Peru St. Bede, had left for another conference and such. Kind of putting the track again into a little flux of who's going to be entering, who's going to stay.
I guess I would just say this. This is not the Three Rivers Conference that several people in this room played in. It's not the Three Rivers Conference that their fathers or mothers or grandfathers and grandmothers played. This is a different conference. And it is only getting bigger. And we are thankful to be 1,000 kids in the district, but at the high school, I think our projected enrollment will never exceed 320, or at least in the next 10 years. So with that being said, My opinion, and I get no vote, and I think this is the opinion of Mr. Nolan and Mr. Vilma, is that in the best interest of our players and our fans and our coaches, this is the right move for us.
What,
Go
so do you have a breakdown of who plays who for different seasons? Like, would we be playing Fulton again? Would we be in a different section for football?
It's a great
We
question.
don't have that right now as far as the divisions from the NUIC. What we've been told is they have to realign based upon the situation. It appears that we'd be in the South Division, the NUIC. Help me out with the teams. It's going to be Polo, AFC,
For
Milledgeville.
everything other than football, yes, it's Polo, Milledgeville, AFC, Eastland, and 2 others. But the scenario for football would be back with Fulton and Amboy. Fulton and Amboy would be in with those other sports also.
Okay.
So supposedly the 2 track teams that left would be in there.
So we gotta get the shoe back.
And that's a benefit, yes.
And that would be a benefit. Now, at this time, there's no guarantee.
Okay.
In essence, there's 21 schools in that conference, and they're broken into 3 groups of 7 for all sports, except football. They have 10 football teams, so it's a closed conference for 11-man, but they also have 7 8-man football teams.
So we would play them in football, because we're both 11.
If we're 11-man, we would guarantee be playing in football. That's it.
And then they have crossovers all
And
through
then
the
you can
conference.
cross over all through that conference, so it will be, the scheduling aspect of that is gonna be unique, trying to maintain some local rivals from the track, but also ingratiate ourselves to the NUIC and making ourselves known up there.
I think it's a fair statement to say that should the board decide not to accept this invitation, it would be extended to another team in our conference, and they would probably more than likely take it. Is that a fair?
We've seen that twice before. When Amboy, we were offered, we told them we'd maintain the Constitution. Amboy was willing to break it. Amboy's there. It came to us the same time as Fulton. We honored the Constitution. Fulton was there. I don't know which team it would be, but suffice it to say, somebody's going to go, more than likely, from this conference.
Other questions you have for Corey or Greg?
So if the decision is made to go, when would we go?
Not next year, but the year after that.
Okay.
So the Constitution, what Mr. Dolan is referring to, requires a school leaving the Three Rivers to provide 2 years' notice. You would be giving 1 year's notice. Precedent has been set by other teams in our conference that they've been allowed to go. And that discussion has gone all the way to the IHSA, which has decided not to rule on that. So there is a precedent to allow a school to go, even though it technically violates the contract.
That's correct. And the deadline is supposed to, the last I knew, and I should have read it, was May 1st.
What does it take to start a new conference? I know like you said, 20 teams or so,
21 up there, yes.
21. I mean,
To get a band together and form a brand new conference,
Or an old conference.
or an
Yeah.
old
a new old
conference.
conference. I mean, I know you have to get the teams.
Right. You got, the biggest thing is getting the teams and getting people to be able to leave at the same time.
Okay.
Scheduling for, and this is gonna sound terrible, scheduling for sports besides football is not that difficult, home and away, but football is the only IHSA sport where you have to have a winning record to get postseason. So having that closed conference makes it a lot easier. Not that it's less competitive. Going up there is just like playing in our conference. They've had numerous state championships. But where that comes into is you know where your games are instead of going and searching for them. And then baseball, basketball, all the rest, as long as you meet your minimum number of competitions, you're eligible for regions.
Okay.
So long answer to a short answer, difficult to put an entire conference together from scratch.
Is it May 1st this year we decide, or next year?
We'll vote next board meeting.
Okay.
So how much say does Morrison have on who they play? Like,
For football, I said, like,
Whatever conference you're in, the conference determines it.
and who is, you said the conference determines, but who is the person that decides? I mean, is there a board that decides it? Is it
So
schools come together and decide it?
current contract or current conference, it's a rotating schedule. We used to have a draft where you picked who you wanted to cross over to. So there's two sides. We have 7 teams on our side, so you have 6 games and then 3 crossovers for football. Same thing for basketball. You have your home, or baseball, or any other sports. You have your home and away, and then you can determine if you want to cross over with the other teams. To be honest with you, in many of our sports, for basketball, we don't cross over to the larger side just because you're playing teams of 550, and we want to play the Villagevilles, the teams that are closer to our size.
I guess my concern is, I coach softball at EP, and we drive to Hall. I mean, we get home at 10 o'clock. You know, it's like, and then they have to go to school the next day. When do they have time to do homework? Those are my concerns. It's like, if we can stay within an hour drive, So, I mean, I know Morrison's driving far now too.
We're driving them
So,
out.
I mean, if we have a choice in the matter, I think we need to speak up and say, hey, we're not driving 2 hours to Monmouth, Roseville, or all the way out to Hall. So when we join the conference, I guess I'd like to have a voice, or our school have a voice and say, hey, you know what, we're not driving 2 hours.
I think with how the schedule comes about, the athletic directors get together as far as the structure of how the games are going to be scheduled. Being that you're in the conference, you will have to play the other members of the conference.
Right, of that conference.
Yeah, and so forth, and then.
But we don't have to cross over and play a team that's 2 hours away.
We would not more than likely have to cross over and
try to avoid
East Dubuque.
I mean, then it's like the ADs, and then it's sent to the principals, and that's really kind of the discussion, at least that I've been part of in the principals meetings, is where Morrison's located is the north central part of the conference. So we're either driving to Mendota or we're driving to Sherrard, Monmouth, Roseville. Right? So we're right there in the middle where it's not really conducive for either, which kind of led to the idea of at least listening to the discussion from the NUIC. There's still going to be trips to Galena and such that's, it's going to be unavoidable and such that are out there. But if we can have more events, Milledgeville,
Is there going to be a
those
required
types,
number of
that's going to
crossovers?
be beneficial.
Not that I'm aware of. At this time, it's
Because there's not.
It's not a play everybody
It's an
up
option
there,
to
yeah.
cross over. So if Galena or East Dubuque isn't in our division of the MUIC, we
we
don't.
would have the option to not do that crossover.
Because I know when I was in Fulton, they sold us on, well, games are going to be closer. Well, they weren't. They were much further away. The kids complained like, hey, we're driving 2 hours to a game. It's like, So I mean, I like the conference. I think it's a good conference. It's a competitive conference, even though they're smaller teams. It'll be nice. My worry is that we're going to be driving, the same distance. So if we have any input on that, I think we should make sure that we can play closer.
Well, that's also try to maintain some of the local teams.
Right.
With the Erie's, Newman, GD, Riverdale.
Right.
Maintain a relationship with them because those are the closest.
Right.
Okay,
Anything else?
all right, tenure list. Action item.
All right, so I'll do these as quickly as I can. So the motion of the Board of Education approves moving the following teachers from first-year probationary status to second-year probationary status at the end of the 22-23 school year. Those teachers are Chelsea Eads, Jennifer Gilbraith, Aaron Morris, Kelsey Pudlis, Chelsea Stewart, Sarah Whitehead, Tom Franks, and Gwen Worrell.
So for the recommendation, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Oh, discussion.
These, all these teachers have met the statutory requirements to be moved from one level of probationary status to the next.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
The motion is the Board of Education approves moving the following teachers from second-year probationary status to third-year probationary status at the end of the 22-23 school year. Dana Bass, Allison Rockel, Kelly Holland, Ashley Johnson, Megan Modulin, Jessica Prolant, and Amber Wright.
Okay, we've heard the recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
What? The agenda that you sent out in the board packet,
Just on that.
is not mentioned the one that's pulled up here.
Yeah, it got erased.
Okay.
So,
No, that's fine. I was
yes.
just, I just
No,
wanted-
as I was editing and things like that, it got erased, so I apologize.
yeah, no, I just want to clarify that first.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Motion is the Board of Education approves moving the following teacher from third-year probationary status to fourth-year probationary status at the end of the 22-23 school year. Thomas Rapoulos.
Okay.
Sorry.
We've heard the recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I have concerns, but I mean, is that something you talk about in open session or is?
No, we can't, if
Oh,
you're not talking, if you want to talk about a specific person, we have to go in close.
Okay.
I would say if you have concerns, then I would
Table.
abstain or, I mean,
Okay.
or vote present.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Actually, you know what? Let's do a roll call vote on that then.
Wilkins,
Yes.
Dan Hawk,
Yes.
Rambo,
Abstain.
Pielson,
Yes.
Lucky.
Yes.
All right, the motion is the Board of Education grants tenure status to the following teachers at the end of the 22-23 school year. Emily Kirkland, Annie Knee, Jennifer Streets.
Okay, we've heard the recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Let's do a roll call for that too. Just,
Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Dan Hawk,
Yes.
Rambo,
We're doing these individually or together?
they're all together.
Can you do them
Yeah, we can do them.
individually?
We've done that in the past.
Just wondering if we should table it now. Let's just go ahead and table that.
Table
That
it
much
next.
concern.
Okay,
So we'll table 3 and we'll table 4.
okay, so table 3 and 4 till May.
Well, 3's already passed.
Okay.
So we'll do 4 again.
Okay. Summer school fees.
The motion is the Board of Education approves establishing district summer school fees at $100 for one course and $150 for multiple courses.
Okay, we've heard the motion. Do we have a recommendation? Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion?
Can I ask, how many classes can they take for 150?
Usually they don't have time to get more than 2 done.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Occasionally you might have someone who does more than 2. I think this is, the reason it's set at $100 is that's what went out in the focus. We'll have to revisit this again before we put the focus out for next year to see if we want to adjust that rate.
Was this the same as last year?
It's been the same for the last couple of years.
Okay.
Okay, do we roll call this?
No, it doesn't involve spending money.
Okay. So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, fund transfer.
The motion is the Board of Education approves the transfer of $200,000 from the working cash fund to the operations and maintenance fund.
We've heard the motion. Do we have a recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
We've discussed this in the past. Our local revenue does not keep pace with the cost of maintaining our buildings. So this is not the last time we'll have to do this.
I
It'll be
think
the last
we
time
always
this
do
year,
it, usually
Yes.
this year around this time.
towards the end of the year.
June
So we get our
5th.
taxes in June.
Okay. Roll call.
Dan Hawk,
Yes.
Rambo,
Yes.
Pielson,
Yes.
Wilkins,
Yes.
Lucky.
Yes. Okay, new business. The North Side Gym floor.
All right, the motion is the Board of Education approves the quote from SS Concrete Coatings LLC for $19,900 for sealing and upgrades of the Northside Gymnasium floor as presented.
Okay, we've heard the motion. Do we have a recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
So what they will do is they will come in and they will seal coat and put a new top layer with a color of our choosing. It'll be red, white, and black. This quote also, there's a first quote, it's a less expensive quote, just the gym floor. This will add, if you've been up to Northside, there's for lack of a better term, a walking trail where the kids walk on. This quote would add that back in.
Nice.
So this would put like lines for the basketball court?
It will not have a basketball court on it. We can do lines with the basketball court, but that would be more.
Is that something that could be done later
Yes.
or, okay,
Yes.
we're not stuck into, it has to be done.
You mean
When they-
adding that? No, we could paint the lines ourselves.
Will the walking path be the same dimensions as the court is now?
I believe so, yes. It'll be the out of bounds. Yeah. So then we could tape,
So it's not gonna be
you can tape,
circular, it's
no,
gonna
it's gonna be a square. It'll be, that's the walking path is actually the out of bounds of the basketball court.
Okay.
We could put the lane in,
Later.
but quite honestly, it's not used for basketball very often.
Well, yeah, but I just,
And you can put tape on it.
yeah, I understand, but I'm just, the gym teacher, while it might not be used for basketball, having some lines on there rather than just
I had Chelsea in there and she asked her what she wanted to do. And
Okay.
This was the route she was okay with.
okay, as long as she's not
She,
coming in and saying,
yeah, and she
"Oh,
picked
let's
out,
just-"
and Mr. Harris was there too. She picked
Okay.
out the colors and the really amazing thing is it's a day and a half of work.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it'd be one day if we didn't do the out of bounds, but with the out of bounds, it'll be 2 days. And you can walk on it, what do you say, 12 hours later?
Oh, nice. And they'll do it over the summer or this
Yes.
year still? Okay.
Mr. Harris, could you explain what's wrong with the floor?
What's not
I mean, I haven't been out there for a while. My girlfriend's down south side.
The tile of the floor at Northside is asbestos tiles.
Right, yeah.
It's cracked in places, it's
So
pouring out.
is it popping out,
There's
is it
some-
cracking, is it?
There's some that are cracking.
Okay.
And I would estimate it's $100,000 just to abate it. That's not putting tiles down.
And it just looks in bad shape.
Yes.
So we have
It
nice.
needs a
Yeah,
refreshment.
I remember it from the south.
If you went to school there, it's the same floor.
Yes, it
It
is.
still is the same, but way worse.
And I would just, again, like to thank Jennifer for her.
Yes, thank
She
you.
did a lot of legwork on this for me, so I really appreciate that.
Okay. Roll call?
So just so we're voting on the more expensive of the two.
Yes, do the whole service.
Okay?
Yes,
This is
yes.
doing it out of bounds.
Yes, the 19th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure you know what you're voting on.
Brombo,
I'm gonna pass. Or present.
Stevenson,
Yes.
Wilkins,
Yes.
Sam Hoff,
Yes.
Lucky.
Yes. Okay, the board vacancy.
Okay, so you have one official vacancy due to not having a candidate from a non-Mount Pleasant township. And I was informed today that Brian is submitting his formal resignation, so he will not be returning. So we have two board vacancies. What we have done per district policy in the past is I have a letter drafted that will go out tomorrow that we'll ask anyone interested and they meet the criteria to submit an application like you would with the job, and then we'll have another board meeting to interview those candidates like we've done in the past. Any concerns with that? Okay, that's all I have.
Certified staff.
All right, the motion is the Board of Education, well, let's introduce Amber first. You want to stand up? This is Amber Hendrickson. Amber, we will be voting on approving her as a third grade teacher at Southside for next year. Amber lives in town with her two sons. Wyatt is in fourth grade, and I can't remember what grade. It's in second grade. Okay, and Amber has been subbing for us
Wow.
all year, and so we hate to lose her as a sub, but we're excited to have her as a teacher. Do you guys want to drill her with any questions?
I don't want to scare her away.
She's waited so patiently, so.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right, now that the embarrassing part of the meeting is over, So the first motion is the Board of Education approves the resignation of Kim Snyder as a certified teacher at North Morrison High School at the conclusion of the 22-23 school year.
Okay, we've heard the motion. Do we have a recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
This was tabled from last month. I didn't have a formal letter from Mrs. Snyder, but I received it shortly thereafter, so that's why we're approving it this month.
Do a roll call?
No.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So the second motion is Board of Education approves the resignation of Katie Rodriguez as a certified speech language pathologist effective at the end of the 22-23 school year.
Okay, we've heard the motion. Do we have a recommendation?
So moved.
Second? Discussion?
Can you get a second?
I said second.
Oh, sorry. Hate to see Katie go.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe she will be pursuing private practice opportunities.
Okay, all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Number 3, the motion is Board of Education approves the hiring of Amber Henriksen as a certified teacher at Southside Elementary for the 23-24 school year at the bachelor's year 1 step.
Okay, we've heard the motion. Do we have a recommendation?
Second.
Discussion? Okay, all in favor? Say aye. Opposed?
And lastly, the motion is to hire Lindsay, the motion is Board of Education approves the hire of Lindsay Workman as a certified kindergarten teacher at Northside Elementary for the 23-24 school year at the master's year 1 step.
Okay, we've heard the motion. Do we have a recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Lindsay has been working for the district for 4 years, 5 years as an aide in the kindergarten, so she's making that
That's awesome,
transition to the
yeah.
classroom. So,
Okay, all in favor? Say aye. Opposed? Okay. We make a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.